Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Val Arkush, Chair of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Today is Wednesday, September the 30th. We are now in week 30 of the pandemic here in Montgomery County and week 14 in the green phase. Today, I'm here with Commissioner Ken Lawrence and our County Solicitor Josh Stein. Since our September 29th press release, we have had 33 new cases of COVID-19 reported in Montgomery County, which brings us to a total of 12,030. These positive cases are a result of a positive test for the virus, not from the antibody test. One of these cases is from a long-term care facility. 32 are from the community. 32 of 33 tests are from the last 7 days or less, and one test is 8 days old. So we continue to have much improved reporting on our test results. These positive individuals are 16 municipalities. All 62 Montgomery County municipalities are home to individuals with COVID-19. Today's individuals range in age from 7 years old to 89 years old. And as always, you can check the county maps for more specific municipal data at moncopa.org/COVID-19. Today, we have 16 females and 17 males. I am sorry to confirm that one additional Montgomery County resident has lost their life to COVID-19, which brings us to 833 deaths confirmed positive from COVID-19. This individual passed away on April the 26th, was 91 years old, and passed away at a long-term care facility. There was obviously a significant lag on this particular individual, but as data is reconciled, sometimes we do find particular individuals that were missed. Overall, we have had 444 females and 389 males lose their lives to COVID-19 in the county. They have ranged in age from 36 years old to 104 years old. The self-reported racial breakdown as we have it: 18 Asian, 3 Asian Indian, 3 Asian Korean, 103 African American or Black, 330 white, and 376 unknown. In terms of long-term care facility deaths, we are now at a total of 690 confirmed positive of 833 total confirmed positive deaths from COVID-19, which is a percentage rate of 83%. In terms of our hospital beds today, we are up a little bit compared with last week. We have approximately 29 individuals hospitalized in a Montgomery County hospital with COVID-19. 8 of these individuals are requiring a ventilator, or approximately 27%. At our Montgomery County Correctional Facility, the situation continues stable with no new cases to report. I'm pleased to announce that testing continues to go smoothly in our 7th week with Mako Medical. With rare exceptions, the county's results are available within the contractually promised 36 hours. I do want to remind people who are being tested that at the testing site, you will be given information on how to register to get a text or an email from Mako when your test result is ready. I encourage you to sign up for that notification. This is the fastest way to get your result as soon as it is available. Our testing capacity remains at 50 tests per site per day, providing 300 tests per day across our 6 county sites, and we continue to have good availability of testing. I want to urge anyone who wants or needs to be tested to get tested. The more we're able to test our community, whether you have symptoms or not, the more we will know what is happening across the county and be able to quickly suppress outbreaks. As a reminder, the 6 county COVID-19 testing sites do not require a car to be tested. The sites provide testing at no cost, though insurance will be billed if you have it. They do not require a healthcare provider's order, and we will test individuals of any age who want or need to be tested. Our couple requirements are that we would like you to make an appointment. All appointments are made on the day of testing beginning at 8:30 in the morning. You cannot book ahead. And we do require that the person being tested is a resident of Montgomery County or works in Montgomery County. And again, I just want to emphasize that you will not be billed or charged a copay for a COVID-19 test that is done at a county-run testing site. As a quick reminder, the testing site locations are in Pottstown, Lansdale, Willow Grove at the First Baptist Church of Crestmont, Green Lane, and Ardmore and Norristown. To register for a test and get the specific address for any of these locations, you can go online at montcopa.org/COVID-19, click on the green County Testing Information button at the top of that page. And again, appointments open online or by phone at 8:30 on the day that you would like to be tested. Our sites are open Monday through Friday. If you would like to make an appointment by phone, that number is 610-970-2937. And same thing, it opens at 8:30 in the morning for appointments that day. So working together, we continue to suppress viral spread here in the county. Happily, we are continuing to see stabilization in our positive numbers, but there does still remain plenty of virus circulating in our communities. So let's show you where we are at today. We will start, as we always do, with our date of test graph. So this is now through September the 25th, and you can see over time the progress that we've made. Why don't we go ahead, Todd, and zoom in on the last 30 days. And again, this is ending September the 25th. And as a quick reminder, the sort of red and pink lines, the dark red line is the total 7-day average of all of our cases. The pinker line is the total 14-day average. And then the dark blue line is the community 7-day average. And the lighter blue line is the community 14-day average. You can see way down at the bottom, the long-term care facility lines. A darker orange is the 7-day, and the more yellow one is the 14-day. And you can see that the cases from our long-term care facilities remain quite low. This is really great news. Just also as a reminder, that dashed line through the middle of the chart is the line that indicates 50 cases per 100,000 residents. So you can see that we still do have a decent amount of cases occurring in our region. Now we'll move to our positivity graph. And as a reminder, that orange, very squiggly line represents the number of Montgomery County residents who were tested for COVID-19 on any given day. And then the blue line is the percent of those individuals that tested positive. Now we can zoom in on this as well. This is a graph showing our positivity rate since we went below 5%, which is considered suppression, on June the 18th. So you can see that we were on a very nice downward trend. We had that little bit of uptick toward the end of August and early September, which I warned you about. And now, happily, I'm very pleased to tell you that as of September the 25th, we are at our lowest positivity rate since the pandemic has begun. We are at 2.36%. And I'm also happy to share with you that from September 11th through September the 25th, we tested 24,373 people in the county. Actually, let me be a little bit clearer about that. 24,373 people who are Montgomery County residents were tested during that 2-week period. Not all of those tests were done at a county testing site. So that is, I believe, the largest number of people that have been tested in a 2-week period as well. That is a 1,763 test increase compared to the data that we reported a week ago over that preceding 2-week period. So it's great that we're seeing more people be tested. And the good news is that a large number of those individuals are negative. But the fact that we're testing so many people really helps ensure that we are doing good surveillance of our community. And that's what we want. By doing this, we really can get a very quick and rapid ability to suppress an outbreak if we see one begin to crop up. So what can we do to keep it this way? Well, stay the course. You know the drill. Don't leave home without a mask, and put it on whenever you're within 6 feet of someone who's not in your household. Keep that 6 feet of distance from anyone who isn't in your household. Even if you have that mask on, do your best to keep that physical distance. Keep your hands clean and away from your face. Get tested if you need to or want to. And if you do get called by a contact tracer, please cooperate. I cannot stress how important it is to cooperate. These conversations are confidential and non-judgmental, and they give us so much information about how and where spread is happening in the county so that we can make data-driven decisions. We continue to see really good cooperation with the people that we connect with. 97% of the people that we connect with are very cooperative with our contact tracers. Our challenge is that we're still only connecting with 60 to 70% of the people that we would like to connect with. We leave messages, we call multiple times, we try text messages if we have cell phones, but these folks are just not returning our calls. So, please, if you're one of those people, please call us back. Or if you have a friend or family member that tests positive, please encourage them to call us back. When a positive individual or a direct contact of a positive individual receives a call, here's how that goes. Our contact tracers will officially inform them that they either are positive or they've been exposed. Our contact tracers are highly trained, and they're able to answer any questions that the individual might have about COVID-19 or refer them for additional guidance if they can't answer the question. The contact tracers will ask if the individual is able to safely isolate or quarantine in their home. If not, the county can help. We can provide no-cost alternatives in another location, or we can help arrange other supports that might be needed to isolate safely, like food delivery or medication delivery or any other unmet needs. The contact tracers never ask for social security numbers, credit card numbers, or any kind of financial or payment information. And you could be called by any one of our community partners. They include ACLAMO, the Visiting Nurses Association, Family Services of Montgomery County, Montgomery County OIC, or a member of the Montgomery County Office of Public Health. And again, when we get good contact tracing, we learn from this information, and it helps us give you good advice about activities that could be problematic or other situations that are putting people at risk. Now, I announced this last week for the first time, but we do have a new tool in our toolbox, thanks to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, and that is COVID Alert PA. This is a free mobile app that helps notify and give public health guidance to anyone who may have been in close contact with another person who has the app and later test positive for COVID-19. The app uses Bluetooth only and works without revealing the user's identity or location. How does it work? Well, when someone receives a positive COVID-19 diagnosis, the county's contact tracer will ask them if they have the app on their phone. If they do, the contact tracer will give them a 6-digit code that comes from our health department. The individual enters that 6-digit code in the app, and then the app will alert anybody who has been within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes of that person within the last 14 days. They don't tell the individual who exposed them or where they were exposed. They simply get an alert that they've been exposed. The app does not use any identifying information. It doesn't use GPS or any location information. The app is designed to be completely anonymous to protect users' privacy and security. So I put it on my phone. It took just a couple minutes to download it and set it up. And I would really encourage everyone to do this. I'm particularly urging businesses to ask all of their employees to download this app, because your employees could have a direct exposure outside of the workplace and then bring that back into your workplace. So this is just another tool that you have as a business owner to help keep your workplace safe from COVID-19. We are definitely all in this together. And again, just asking everyone to download this very useful tool to help keep us all safe. You can find the app in any app store. You can also get more information at montcopa.org/COVID-19. So I have a couple of announcements today, and we're going to start with our solicitor, Josh Stein. The Montgomery County Board of Health met today to consider a revision to the health code. And I'm going to turn over to Solicitor Stein to explain the action that was taken by the Board of Health. Mr. Stein?
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, today's special Board of Health meeting, the board voted to approve an amendment to the Montgomery County Health Code. The code makes some amendments to reflect the existence of COVID-19 in the county, and these changes were believed by the Office of Public Health staff to be vital to be clear on the expectations of residents, visitors, and event organizers, and that will help the county in its mission to limit the spread of COVID-19. Specifically, the revisions add COVID-19 as a reportable illness that healthcare providers should report to appropriate authorities within 24 hours of diagnosis. Makes clear that someone who is positive for COVID-19 should not be going into a school setting, whether it's a student or adult, where they risk transferring it to others. The amendment also changes the language on mass gatherings, which we felt was important in light of the recent federal court decision. This language, while it has always been present in the health code, we have tweaked this to make clear that a mass gathering, which is now defined as an indoor event of more than 25 individuals in an indoor commercial facility, or more than 250 people in an outdoor or temporary structure setting, will be required to apply for a permit from the County Office of Public Health, and the Office of Public Health will require that for these events that there be a health and safety plan in place that will mitigate the spread of COVID-19. So unlike the governor's order, which was found to be unconstitutional, this will still permit these activities to move forward. However, they will be done in a safe manner with approval by public health officials to make sure that everyone is safe. The amendment also makes clear the travel restrictions that individuals who are traveling to Montgomery County from states or in the future countries which are considered to be high for COVID-19 infections, that they should quarantine for 14 days upon their return to Montgomery County. This list is provided by the Pennsylvania Department of Health and is updated regularly. And those are the majority of the important changes from the Department of Health approved today.
And the board approved that unanimously?
They did indeed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stein. All right. So I have a wonderful announcement from the Norristown Area School District. Superintendent Chris Dormer let me know that at some point during this very press briefing today, the Norristown Area School District will be distributing their 1 millionth meal. Yep, I said 1 millionth meal to a district family at the Norristown Area High School. I want to give special mention and thanks to Dave Ludwig, Director of Food Service, and Ann Rorick, Chief Financial Officer, for their leadership with meal distribution over the course of the last 7 months. This effort is part of the Norristown Area School District's commitment to fully serving families throughout the pandemic. This is 1 million meals served to the children of the Norristown community since March the 13th. This is approximately 4,000 children who've been provided both breakfast and lunch 5 days per week for the entire duration of this meal program. Superintendent Dormer wanted me to acknowledge the support of the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Pennsylvania Department of Education, which allowed the school district to implement the summer seamless option to feed all children under the age of 18. This has been a true team effort. They have had school board members led by President Shay Ash, cabinet members, administrators, mid-management, professional staff, and support staff all help facilitate meal distribution in a manner that follows social distancing guidelines and health and safety procedures. So I just want to personally congratulate the school district. This is just a tremendous effort to make sure that all of our families get through this pandemic as safely and in as good a health as possible. So thank you, Superintendent Dormer. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to celebrate the millionth meal, but I'm there with you in spirit. And then finally for me today, before I turn over to Commissioner Lawrence, I want to share some Halloween guidelines with everyone. We've been getting a lot of questions about Halloween, and we want to make sure that kids and their families can have a safe and fun Halloween. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has outlined Halloween activities that are considered low, moderate, and high risk for COVID-19. And the Montgomery County Office of Public Health has reviewed these guidelines and offered some great ideas for activities that are fun and safe. One key recommendation, though, is to do one thing differently for sure than what we would normally do, which is to limit contact with commonly touched surfaces or shared items. So we are recommending that trick-or-treaters do not grab candy from a bowl that every child is reaching into. We're recommending to use a grab-and-go method, which includes individually wrapped bags of candy or treats. More Halloween-specific guidance and a really awesome video showing these options can be found on our website as part of our COVID-19 guidance at www.montco.org/COVID-19 guidance. So that's COVID-19 guidance. And when you land on that page, there's a button on the left that says Halloween guidance, and it's in a menu on the left side of the page. Please be sure to watch the video. It's really great. It'll give you a lot of good ideas. And if you do have any questions or you're thinking about planning a larger Halloween event, you can email montcohalloween@montcopa.org. Again, that's montcohalloween@montcopa.org. You can ask any questions at that email, or if you are planning an event and you want our team in the Office of Public Health to review your plans, send the plans to that email and they will get back to you as quickly as possible. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Commissioner Lawrence.
Good afternoon. I'm going to start with an election update first. For those of you who are planning to vote in person on November 3rd, we have nearly finalized all the polling locations in Montgomery County. Most of them have been finalized, and you can find them by going to the Voter Services website. You can go to www.montcopa.org. There's a tab, Election 2020. And you can go there and you can find which polling locations have been finalized. I want to repeat again that every registered voter in Montgomery County will receive a letter letting them know where their polling location is. Whether it's moved or whether it's the same as it's always been, you will receive a letter. Those letters have not gone out yet. Mail-in ballots should be arriving early next week, and absentee ballots. Our drop-off locations will begin on Saturday, October 3rd. And you can see the drop-off locations there. They are also on the website. All the hours for the locations will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., on Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., on Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., except for Election Day. Election Day hours will be from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So this is where you can drop off your completed ballots. We want to remind everyone to make sure that you use the privacy envelope. You will have a privacy envelope with your ballot. You must put your ballot in that, seal that, and then put it into the outer envelope, and then sign the outer envelope. Our satellite voter services offices will open on Saturday, October 10th, and you can visit our website for those locations, and also those hours are still being finalized. So please go to the website, www.montcopa.org, and look for the Election 2020 tab. A reminder of some important election deadlines. No matter how you choose to vote for the general election on November 3rd, you must be registered by October 19th, 2020. Postmarks do not apply, so your registration must be received by October 19th. You can also do that online. The last day to apply for a mail-in ballot or absentee ballot is October 27th by 5 p.m. Postmarks do not apply here either. And to get the latest updates on the election and voting, please follow the county's Facebook, Twitter, Nextdoor, and Instagram pages. And also, we are daily updating our website daily, www.montcopa.org. Find the Election 2020 tab. If you don't have access to a computer or the internet, you can call Voter Services 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for assistance at 610-278-3275, or email them at voters@montcopa.org. Last week, we announced that the Montgomery County Commerce Department had once again partnered with the Redevelopment Authority of Montgomery County with the support of our Health and Human Services Department to create a new Montco Strong nonprofit resiliency and restoration grant program. The purpose of the nonprofit grant program is to provide 501c3 entities with financial support so they can remain resilient as employers and stakeholders in our communities due to the disruptions caused by COVID-19. It's also to ensure that our 501c3s are able to be active participants in the restoration and the health and well-being and livelihood of our residents, community, and the county as a whole. We are committed to doing everything we can for our 501c3s who are helping others during these difficult times. The application window opened online at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, September 29th, and was scheduled to close on October 1st. However, the deadline to apply has been extended to October 6th at 3 p.m. We want to ensure that all eligible entities have the equal opportunity to apply for and compete for funding. By extending the deadline, this will allow eligible organizations who are thinking about applying more time to prepare an application, send in their questions, and ultimately submit a strong application. In addition to the Redevelopment Authority, the Commerce Department, and HHS, we want to thank the leaders of the nonprofit community who have provided us valuable feedback on this program, which led us to extend it. For more information, including the program guidelines, eligibility information, and frequently asked questions, you can find that online at www.montcopa.org/MSMP. Eligible applicants with questions can use the Commerce Department's assistance request form to submit those questions. And this form can be found at www.montcopa.org/commerce. And finally, to help Montgomery County small businesses impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Board of Commissioners approved the purchase of 12,000 personal protective equipment kits to be distributed to small businesses throughout the county. This initiative is a collaborative effort between the Montgomery County Commerce Department, the Office of Public Health, and in partnership with the newly formed Alliance of Montgomery County Chambers of Commerce. It will begin in October and continue into November. The Alliance is a collaboration of chambers serving businesses in Montgomery County. Their mission is to provide a vehicle for open dialogue on current and emerging issues, to establish a forum for ongoing communications with elected officials on business-related topics, and to leverage a collective voice for business advocacy when deemed appropriate. Our local chambers members' investment, support, and expertise have enabled us to provide critical service to our region during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we want to thank them for that. We are committed to helping as many businesses, families, and industries as possible to endure the financial hardship caused by the pandemic so they can continue to return to work safely and sustainably. The kits will include face masks, face shields, sanitizer, a thermometer, and other crucial COVID-19 mitigation and protection equipment, along with a Mask Up Montco window clings and documents that provide COVID-19 information and guidance. CARES Act funding received by Montgomery County financed these kits. PPE is vital for businesses, their employees, and their customers and visitors. Providing these supplies to small businesses saves them the time and money they otherwise would use to procure PPE and allows them to do what they do best and keep their businesses going. The Alliance members will be distributing the no-cost kits to both members and non-members of each chamber throughout the county. Kit shipments of approximately 1,500 will begin arriving in early October and will be allocated among the participating Alliance members. Businesses with 50 or fewer employees will be eligible for 1 to 5 kits based on total employees and while supplies last. And I want to thank the members of the Alliance of Montgomery County Chambers of Commerce and list them quickly. They are the Eastern Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, the Hatfield Chamber of Commerce, the Indian Valley Chamber of Commerce, the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, the Norristown Chamber of Commerce, Perkiomen Valley Chamber of Commerce, Springford Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Montgomery County, the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Upper Perkiomen Valley Chamber of Commerce. So thank you all for your support and helping us get these kits out to our small businesses. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Lawrence, and just a huge thank you to all the chambers that are helping us with this work. And it's a great reminder to me to remind everyone to buy local as much as you can. All of our businesses here in the county are just starting to get back on their feet, and the more that we can all try to buy local, the quicker that they will be back on their feet. So thank you for that. So our next virtual briefing will be Wednesday, October the 7th at 3 p.m. and I'm happy to take any questions.
This afternoon, we're joined by Jim Melward from KYW News Radio. Jim?
I'll try to keep it quick today. Halloween, you mentioned, not using the same bowl. What are kind of just the overarching concerns, things you really want to make clear, things that you really worry that a typical Halloween night might bring out that you just really want to hammer home?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple of very common sense things. So first of all of the guidance that we've been talking about for the last 30 weeks applies to Halloween night as well. So you should really be with your household contacts, or as many families, particularly families with young children, have done. They've created kind of a social pod. You should try to stay within that group that you've been spending time with up until this point. That just decreases the risk of any exposures or transmissions. Second, you do still need to wear a mask, and a Halloween mask, unless it's a cloth, at least 2-layer cloth mask, is not going to protect you from COVID-19. So the guidelines do recommend that you still have a cloth face covering on, even if you have a Halloween mask on with it. I think people could probably do some pretty creative things with that. So that could be a kind of a fun activity. Social distancing should happen, as it would in any activity. And you particularly want to be cautious about multiple hands reaching into the same bowl of candy. Certainly you wouldn't want to have out anything that was unwrapped. I mean, that's true really every year, but be extra cautious about that this year. So those are really the main things. Keep those hands clean, maybe use hand sanitizer after each stop, those types of just common sense things. But we've got a lot of great activities available on our website. There's some super fun candy shoots that we have some pictures of, that people are coming up with really fun, innovative ways to deliver candy to kids from a distance. We've already had several commercial stores reach out to the health department to get our guidance on setting up some kind of drive-through trick-or-treating opportunities. Some places are doing the trunk trick-or-treating. So there's going to be a lot of fun activities going on around the county, and we want to encourage people to continue to enjoy Halloween, but just do it safely.
Probably don't want to bob for apples either.
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Yeah, but I don't ever want to bob for apples, right? Schools, with more schools now back in person, is there an update on how things are going? And also, West Broad and Souderton, I meant to ask this last week, but I couldn't get on. Was there a reason that that school in particular was, and I know, you're limited in how much you can say specifically, but was there something in particular that triggered that closure?
Well, that school was asked to go back to 100% virtual, so they were already on a hybrid model. So it was relatively easy for them to just go to 100% virtual. So they didn't close; the education did continue. And I can't say too much about the specifics of why that recommendation was made, but it had to do with a concern about a number of cases and possible transmission. But everything seems to be going fine there, and they are scheduled to go back to their hybrid model, I believe, Friday. And then in terms of our other schools, we did have some additional schools that either brought more students back this week or brought some students back for the first time. And we have had cases in schools, as I've been saying from the beginning. I expect to see cases in virtually every school. But what we're focused on is actual transmission. So we know that teachers or students or other staff, just statistically, there's going to be people that show up at a school that test positive for COVID-19. But the hope here is that with all of the mitigation measures that have been recommended, if the schools are able to follow them, that we won't see transmission of the virus from that person that's positive to any other staff or students. So far, so good. We have had schools with positive cases, but we have not yet seen transmission.
And speaking of schools, with and I don't know if Josh wants to field this one or if you do, with the updated code on the gatherings, does that affect or apply to or change in any way schools with attendance at scholastic events, scholastic sporting events? Sorry.
So right now, we have been advising all of our schools to keep attendance at outdoor sporting events at no more than 250 and indoor no more than 25 per the governors and the Pennsylvania Department of Health order. What the Board of Health did today was codify those numbers in our health code. And if schools are compliant with those numbers, unless they want some advice on how to do that as safely as possible, there's no need to reach out to us. But if a particular school would like to reach out and ask for a higher number than 250 or 25 at a respective event, our health department is happy to work with them and see if there is a way to accommodate that request safely with an approved health and safety plan. So we are happy to have those conversations with schools or anyone that wants to hold a larger event. There are ways to do these things safely, and that's our goal.
So, for example, if a school had a larger football stadium, maybe they could reach out and talk to you about increasing capacity, is that kind of thing, or?
That's correct. So, for instance, we have already had one school that sent us a very detailed health and safety plan with pictures of their stadium. And we worked with them. They wanted to get up to, I think, around 290 people, and that would accommodate 2 family members for each of their players, and both teams, they wouldn't have parents from the other team, but it would allow them to have 2 family members from all of their team members, plus the coaches and the refs and the trainers and all of that. So they came up with a really great plan. It's a large stadium where the bleachers are quite far apart, and they're treating them as sort of separate areas, and they will have security to make sure that people go in and out separate entrances, and it was a great plan, so we approved it.
Last question. With the debate, the presidential debate last night, a question was asked about election security, especially mail-in ballots, and an open-ended question, because it kind of felt as though that lended credence to unfounded theories, or at least unfounded so far, that there's some sort of fraud. Wondering if you guys wanted to weigh in on that. I know the county, all counties have done a lot of work on this, and just wondered if you guys had any thoughts on how that kind of played out.
Ken, you want to start with that?
The president votes by mail-in ballot, and has in the last several elections. We are working very hard on the security and integrity of this election, and will continue to do so. We've seen no evidence of any interference or any fraud. And certainly if we did, we would report that. And the people involved in that would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
And I would just add that I'm planning to vote with the mail-in ballot, and our staff is working literally 7 days a week to make sure that this goes as smoothly as possible for everyone who chooses to vote by a mail-in ballot.
And I'm sorry, I forgot colleges. Is that status quo? You've been saying that they've been holding pretty steady. Is there anything to report there?
In terms of cases at colleges, was that the question?
Cases, yeah.
Yeah, it's been status quo. Some positive cases, but no outbreaks.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. We have no further questions today.
Okay, thanks everyone. We will see you next week. Have a good week.